What's up, guys? So I got a response to Simon from Explosive Action. He did a video like a week or two ago. It was the ABCs of underground death metal. So you show like one band that starts with A, one band that starts with B, so on and so forth. I thought this was a cool idea for a video, but I decided to switch it up and do black metal instead. So yeah, most of these bands are like formed in the 2000s. I think there was like only a couple that were formed in the 90s, but they're not like the super big bands, because I'd be kind of boring to just do like Mayhem and all the big guys. So yeah, but first, what were you listening to? Stok for these guys to do a debut full length, the new Devo of Light record. So they put out an EP in 2022. That was one of my favorite like EPs of that year, and definitely I knew they were going to be a promising band just from the sound of that. So I'm very stoked to report that their debut full length does not disappoint. So if you like stuff like Void Ceremony, kind of in that vein, but these guys are definitely more intense than Void Ceremony, and they don't have the super almost like fretless bass sound. But yeah, check it out. Devo of Light, awesome shit. Put it out through Carbonized Records too. So I bought this through the Bandcamp. It took like 3 days to show up, so that was awesome. But they're also from the same state as me, so that helps too. But yep, again, if you like good proggy death metal, check it out. Devo of Light, awesome shit. Alrighty, so obviously I have a lot to show, so if I'm not going into super details, sorry, because I don't want this video to be an hour long, but oh well. And there's a couple letters I'm missing, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Alrighty, first up, one of the most underrated bands from the Finnish scene, in my opinion. I've never seen anybody on YouTube mention this band, and it's a goddamn shame. So if you guys have one homework I'm assigning you, check this band out. That's your one homework for the day. So this is Aras, Aegrus, Invoking the Abyssal Night. So this came out through Osmos Productions last year. So this is their fourth full length, I believe. I have their first, third, and fourth. I think I'm missing the second one. I know I'm missing one because they have 4, but yeah. So if you like stuff like Sargeist, Behex, and Hornos, these guys are definitely one of the better newer bands in that style, which unfortunately they get no love. I'm not really sure why, but oh well. So great stuff regardless. So this one's on a cool orange. So you have a great band that unfortunately gets no love in the current scene, but there's a bajillion bands, so hard to keep up, but I kind of get it. But yeah, they're definitely one of the most slept on bands in the Finnish scene, so check that out. The B is for Blut as Nord. Which one's this? Memorial Fatush for 2, Dialogue with the Stars. So of the Memorial Fatush trilogy, one's probably my favorite. This is probably number 2 though, so yep. Great album. If you know BAN, they definitely have changed styles quite a few times, and this is definitely, I would say, like their more like melodic, atmospheric style opposed to the super crazy, chaotic style. But yeah, I definitely prefer this sound for Blut as Nord, but all the stuff I've heard I really like, but there's a few I'm not really familiar with much, so yeah, good stuff. Put it through Devo of Light also, who's definitely one of the best labels, especially for like reissuing stuff. But yeah, so there you go. BAN, Memorial Fatush for 2. Alrighty, C is for Cosmic Church. This is Yist. Their second of the 3 full lengths. My favorite is definitely their last one. But again, these guys don't have a bad record. They're hard to have a bad record when you have only 3, but unfortunately, I wish these guys were still around. I know they broke up. I'm not sure why, but oh well. But if you know the current Finnish scene, these guys are definitely one of the bigger bands in that scene, and definitely one of my favorites. Another underrated band that deserves more love, this time from Germany. This is Der Weg einer Freiheit with their self-titled Der Weg einer Freiheit. This came out in 2010. This Cosmic Church is from 2015 or 13, I think. So this came out in 2010. Pretty riffy from Germany. they have a very unique sound. It's one of the few albums where like the guitar riffs actually sound kind of sad. It's like weird how they play in a very unique riffing style, which their like third record they kind of incorporate a little bit of like post black metal elements into the sound. Their fourth record I don't really like, and the fifth one I haven't heard, but their first three are definitely where it's at. But this for me is their peak. But yep. If you like good, riffy, kind of weirdly sad sounding black metal, check it out. Devo of Light, self-titled, put out on via Hate Records, but I got this from the Season of Miss US shop, and it was super cheap too, so yep. Great shit. So that is Devo of Light. Alright, this one you could argue is like more than just black metal, but I wanted to show it anyway. So this is Stok hymn with Inhuma. Hard to pick a favorite record by these guys. I've heard most of their discography. There's a couple I haven't heard yet, which they have a new record that's I think either coming out soon or already out. I know it's from this year, but I don't remember like what the release date is. But yeah, I believe these guys are a one-man project, so very impressive. This is all from one guy, because you could like convince someone this is a full band. This does not sound like it's from one guy because of how like great everything is. But the highlights for me is definitely, I think the drumming is the best, so I'm assuming he's a drummer first. Like the riffs are great, but it's definitely from like a drummer perspective. But yeah, play through Void Hanger. So if you like Ruins of Beverast, I guess, but that may be kind of a lazy comparison, but sort of in that vein. But I would say they're like less doomy and kind of more death metal influence than Ruins are. But yeah, great shit regardless. So there you go. Stok hymn Inhuma. The early stuff was more just straightforward, but I think they like got their own sound after like the first couple records. But yep, there you go. Inhuma, Void Hanger, like I said. So there you go. Alright, here's a favorite from this shoe. I'm surprised I haven't seen many people mention. Funeral Storm. So these guys are one of the better newer bands from the Greek scene, along with Cult of Ivan and Crusaders Cruentia. Those are definitely the three best, but yeah. With all the love their last record got, I'm surprised I haven't seen many people mention this one. Like, tons of people mentioned their first record from 2019, and then this one, hardly anybody. Not sure why. They're still on Hell's Headbangers, so not sure what the deal is, but yeah. So again, basically, if you like the first records from all of the Greek bands before they started to experiment, so like the first Running Christ, first Verathron, first Thou Art Lord, good stuff too. So there you go. Funeral Storm, great stuff, put out through H-Shapes, like I said. Awesome record. So going to GBK, like I said, they were formed, I think they even formed in the late 80s, maybe. Late 80s, early 90s, but yeah. Definitely my favorite of their 4 full-lengths. I almost pulled the newest one, but I decided to pull the best one, might as well. So yeah, super like heavy metal influenced black metal. But if you know the U.S. scene from the early 2000s, this is definitely one of the most infamous black metal records for, I think, obvious reasons. But yeah, just listen to the song "The Tenderhearted Manifesto." It's definitely one of the best black metal songs, period. And an awesome solo at the end too. So yep, killer, just melodic-ish heavy metal influence, USBM from the early 2000s. But like I say, if you know your early 2000s USBM, this is definitely one of the most infamous records from that scene. So there you go. GOP's Assassination, GBK. H is for Havakuno. So this is one I'm going to butcher. What is it? Anunes Sume Sota. Nailed it, so I'm sure I pronounced that perfectly correctly. So if you like stuff like Moon Sorrow and Early Enslaved and like a little bit of Viking Era Bathory too, this is definitely a killer record that mixes all of those styles together in a very nice stew. Wow, that sounded kind of dumb, but oh well. These guys, I think, are due for a new record. The last one, I believe, was this one. This was 2020, so I don't know what the deal is, so maybe we'll get a new one next year. That would be sweet. These guys are awesome, but yep. So there you go. Have a Rune, Ayune Some Soto. Yeah, I'm sure I butchered that, but oh well. Here's another one you could argue is not just straight up black metal, but no one ever mentioned this band, so I wanted to pull it out just to give this band some more love. So this is Empi with Chaos Command 696. I guess going 666 seemed too obvious, so I wanted to change it up, but yeah. So these guys are, you could argue it's more like Black Death thrash kind of, so like if Angel Corpse was more thrashy, but I still think they're like more black metal. Like Angel Corpse is death with black influences. I say they're like death and black metal, I guess, but I mean, they covered a sex trash song and a blasphemy song, which that's honestly not a bad comparison, but unlike blasphemy, they're not super boring and overrated, but yeah. You don't really see anybody cover sex thrash, like I've never, like that's not a band people cover, so it's definitely a nice touch. This put that through Osmos Productions, like I said. And these guys are from Singapore, so definitely not a scene that gets a lot of attention, but yeah. What year did this come out? 2022. I think it's like 2006 or 7 originally is when this came out. Cool labels though. I know it's just black, but I like that center label. So man, if you want the like, I guess you could say the like reverse of Angel Corpse, so like a death and black release, this is a awesome record to check out in a band that I still think deserves more attention. See, there you go. And Piety, Chaos Command 696. Alrighty, J is for Judas Iscariot, so definitely the best record. I wanted to pull something more cult, but I didn't really have much that starts with J, so I had to go for this one. But yeah. So this is To Embrace the Corpse's Bleeding. Their last album, and by far my favorite. Though Heaven and Flames is great too, but this is definitely, I still think, the best one. I mean, every song here is a banger. My favorite's probably Bathed in Clouds of Blood or In the Valley of Death, I Am the King, which is probably one of the slower songs, but it's definitely one of the best tracks, period. So there you go. Judas Iscariot, To Embrace the Corpse's Bleeding. Great stuff again, like the GBK. If you know the early 2000s USBM, definitely one of the most popular albums from that scene. So there you go. K is for Kriegsgraf, Fires in the Fall. So these guys have changed style a few times. This is definitely, I would say, more like kind of like, it says like black and doom. I don't really hear any doom elements because it is pretty fast, but it slows down a little bit. So like their early albums apparently are more like post-black metal, which I haven't heard that. I have this one and an album that's like a decade prior, so I haven't heard anything in between, so I'm not sure if the style change according to Metal Archives is very accurate, but yeah. Great stuff, and definitely one of them. I think this is from last year, I want to say, because I know this made a year-end list. I think it was last year, but yeah. Great record, and of the ones I've heard, my favorite, like I said, I've only heard a few, so not really saying much, but there you go. Kriegsgraf, Fires in the Fall. I believe these guys are American also, but don't quote me on that. I might be wrong, but oh well. So there you go, Kriegsgraf. Alright, L is for Leviathan, True Traitor, True Horror. I pulled out this one specifically because I see some people say this record is kind of not very great. I'm not sure why. It's honestly one of my favorites he's done. Maybe for some odd reason for a while, this was the only one that actually clicked with me. Like the other ones I thought were kind of boring for a few years, but I was able to appreciate them later on. But maybe because this was the first one I actually got into, maybe that's why I have a soft spot for it. But yeah, so this came out in I think like 2011, I think. There's a Funeral Industries press, doesn't say what year, it's not very helpful. Yeah, Funeral Industries under license from Profound Lows, but doesn't say what year though. But yep, again, like GBK and Judas Iscariot, definitely one of the most popular bands from the US scene. But there you go, Leviathan, True Traitor, True Horror. Great record, super underrated in his discography in my opinion. M is for Melokapatan. This is Nordkapitenland. Again, I'm sure I butchered that. These guys are from like Slovakia or something. they've gotten like less away from black metal sound, but this is definitely, I would say, my favorite record by them. So yeah, it's almost like, I won't say Mortuary Drake, but that's not right. What's the other band from Slovakia? I know they're Italian, but like Master's Hammer, so kind of in that vein, like Master's Hammer or Early Roots. So if you like that kind of sound, definitely one of the better modern bands in the like newer black metal scene. But yep, there you go. Mother Kapatan, Nord Kapitanland. Again, I'm sure I butchered that, but oh well. So there you go. N is for Necrofire, one of my favorites from the current US scene, which I'm an idiot and I missed them in Maryland Death Fest a couple years ago, which I still regret. So that was stupid on my part. This is their first of the two full lengths, so like it's melodic black metal, but definitely in that vein of the early Greek stuff. Like their second record definitely reminds me a lot of Triarchy of the Lost Lovers, era Rod in Christ, but this is kind of in that style too. So if you like that era of Rod in Christ and you want a band from the US playing that style, definitely check out Necrofire, and don't be an idiot like me if you have the chance to see them do it, because I'm sure they were awesome, but I'm just a dope. So there you go. Necrofire, Prophecies of Eternal Darkness. Alright, O is for Obsidian Tongues. This is Volume 3. I have a split that they did with Infora Brewer. I'm not sure if they've done any other full lengths. I'm assuming they have, because that'd be kind of odd to call their first full length Volume 3, but oh well. So I haven't listened to this in a while. I need to give this a listen again, because I remember in 2020 this came out, and I made my year-end list then, but I haven't really spun it much since, to be honest, but I definitely need to return to this. So good kind of like atmospheric black metal, but it's not like pretty sounding, but it's put out through Rune, so if you know that label and their sound, it definitely has that very stereotypical like Rune record sound to it. But yep, it's great record though regardless. I just need to spin it again, it's been a while. So there you go. Obsidian Tongue. P is for Profanatica, so another band that's formed in the 90s, but they're not like one of the bigger ones, so oh well. This is Disgusting Blasphemies Against God. Not my favorite record. Well, it's my favorite full length, mainly because of the production. I love the super like heavy and thick bass tone on this record, which isn't really very common for black metal, because you don't think of black metal as being like heavy and bassy, but this definitely is. That's definitely what makes it one of my favorite records by them. Yeah. Though my favorite release by them is honestly The Altar of the Virgin Horror EP, but oh, I don't want to pull an EP. I want to actually show a full length, but there you go. I don't have Q, so if there's a band that starts with Q, I'm sure there is, but I didn't have anything that starts with Q, so oh well. Let's go to R though. This is Rune with Black World Spiritualism, so this made a lot of people's year-end list last year for good reason. Definitely one of my favorites too, so this is definitely, I would say, the most well-known for having Blasphemer of Mayhem on it, which this definitely is what this is. It's like his era of mayhem, but mainly just him. So if you like that, like Chimera and Order Out Cow, this is honestly what could have followed Order Out Cow if he didn't leave. But yeah, great shit though regardless. So there you go. Room, the Black World Spiritualism. I hope this wasn't a one-off, because this was a super promising project. So if Blasphemer, for some odd reason you're watching, continue on with this project, man. This shit rules. But there you go. Alrighty, this is another band. I'm gonna butcher the shit out of their name, but S is for Sia Violian with, my god, Kaluva Kavalavja. Yeah, I definitely butchered that, but another one of my favorite bands from the Finnish scene. That unfortunately, their album from last year, I was super disappointed with. I listened to it like once and I basically forgot I heard it because it was super unmemorable and pretty boring. But this record is honestly one of my favorite black metal records of the last like half decade. This was my album of the year from 2019, and I still stand by that. I've heard a bunch of other stuff that I missed that year, and this is still the #1. But yeah, I mean, literally every song, I guarantee you will be singing along to this record. Like every single song is like complete earworm. You get stuck in your head. Like these songs right now I can sing the dun 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 dun. Like you can not hear for a while, you still be singing along to it. It's so good. But yep. So there you go. T is for to conceal the horns. This is purest. So these guys are put out through worship tapes and purity through fire, I think. That's what it says. So yep. Another band from the Finnish scene that gets no love, mainly because their band name is kind of not very good, so it doesn't help either. But to compare them to something, I would say it's like early Demu and Emperor mixed with Cosmic Church, maybe. So if like early Demu and Emperor were more atmospheric, I guess that might be a good comparison. So yeah, I believe this is the only full length so far. 2019 or 2020 is when this came out, so again, definitely due for a new one, which hopefully they're working on that. But yeah, great shit. Another band that deserves more love. Just I wish they had a better band name. U is for Uada. Now I know a lot of people complain about these guys for some dumb reason. I kind of get it, but I think they're awesome, especially live. They're honestly like one of the best bands I've ever seen. At MDF, they were arguably the best band of the entire festival for me. Their first, like, 2 records I still stand by are some of the best black metal records of the last decade. Their third record was good, but kind of a letdown compared to the first 2. And their newest record, I think, was a step in a better direction again, but I still haven't picked that one up, yo. Picked that one up yet, so I need to fill the holes and get that. But this one's Devo of Light. I think 2016 through Eisenwald, another Kill label. So yep, super awesome, riffy, kind of melodic-ish black metal from the Northeast. V is for Valdrin. This is through Thorn of the Lunar Soul. These guys are from Cleveland, of all places. That's super random to have a black metal band to be from Cleveland, but oh well. Blood Harvest put this one out. Their 4th full length. I hadn't heard of these guys until this one, and apparently I'm not alone in that. I know several people that are super deep into black metal. This was the first one they heard by them, so just super random how that happens sometimes. Just great bands just fall to the wayside for some reason, but yeah. I've heard the rest, but this I still think is their best, but yeah. I guess kind of like again, like melodic black metal, but definitely different than Uada. I would say it's more like the Swedish style, so like early Dissection or Dawn, any of those guys. So yep, great stuff. With Valdrin, Throne of the Lunar Soul, awesome record. I still need to get their first 3 though, but like I said, this is definitely their best though. But yeah, there you go. W is for Chodomuraif. This is Dome Gazavad. I'm sure I butchered that, but definitely one of the best bands from the Trondheim scene. Obviously, if you know like them, Celestial Bloodshed, Mayor, One Tail, One Head, they're definitely, I would say, the best. And I think they're the only one that's still active, because a lot of those bands had like 1 album or 2 and then broke up, but these guys are still going at it, because I know they have an album that came out this year actually, which I still need to get. But my one problem from these guys is they're signed to Territor, but I think it's Van Records now, either Van or Territor, but one of those 2 labels that doesn't really have very good US distribution. So that's my one problem with these guys. It's kind of hard to get their albums in the States, but oh well. I've heard the new record rules, but for me, this is definitely, I still say my favorite though. But there you go. Super awesome, riffy black metal from Norway. Definitely one of the best bands from the current Norwegian scene. But there you go. Chodomuraif. So X would be Zaster, but whatever, I don't really care about Zaster. But there's a picture of an album cover, and then Y is Youth Aurora, I think. I have the new album in order, but I ordered it like a couple days ago, so it's coming from Greece, so I'm assuming it's gonna take like 2 months to show up, but oh well. Those guys I think feature a singer from Verathron, so again, if you like the early Verathron, early Run in Christ, definitely check that out. And then to finish this off, let's go to a band from, I think these guys are from like China or something. This is, oh god damn it, Zarukiak? I'm sure I butchered that. Zuriaake. So I believe this is just an EP, so this is almost like kind of ambient-ish black metal from what I remember. So if you like Bosom, Evil Feast, that kind of stuff, it's definitely in that vein, though I think definitely I would say closer to Evil Feast. It's not like atmospheric like Bosom is, but yeah. So if you like Winter Moon Enchantment, kind of in that style, but yeah. Cool EP. I need to hear the rest of the band stuff, but there you go. Zauriak. Yeah, I'm sure I butchered that, but oh well. So thanks for watching. Hopefully this wasn't too long, but like I said, I'll link Simon's video, obviously, so. The next video, I have an idea what I'm going to be doing. It's going to be another response, but you'll see. Then I'll start that new series that I promised, but we'll see. Thanks for watching. Take care. Peace out. Like, if you hear what you hear, check out Violet Light. So, there you go. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out. Hails.